Hello everybody and welcome back to BTA Bitesize. Today's episode is going to be a top tip episode, so these are my 5 top tips for all you guys that are new coming into the mod as just some early game concepts for you to wrap your head around. Okay, so without further ado, let's get cracking and on to the first one. And our first tip is make your life easy. When you're starting your new career, don't be tempted to make it as difficult for yourself as possible. BTA has quite a steep learning curve and it has quite a steep difficulty curve, both meaning that there's a lot for you to take in early on and there's a lot of different things that are going to make it really hard for you. So do yourself a favor and just make it easy on yourself. It's not cheating. The options are there for a reason. Don't be disheartened by it. It's going to be an easy way for you to get into the game. And in all honesty, you want to make it as easy as possible. So, give yourself stuff that reduced, the reduced Argo costs. Drop your parts for assembly down to 3. Change your mech recovery chance, your salvage, up your commander skill points. Just make your life easy. You can always start a new campaign once you've got the hang of it and, you want to make things a little bit more difficult. And as far as I'm aware, the settings are actually changeable in-game as well. So if you're finding it a little bit easy and you want to make it harder, you can go into the game settings and change stuff in there. But for the start off, just do yourself a favor and make your life easy, all right? Top tip number 2, optimize your mechs. Go into your mech bay once you've started your new career and just go and check out what you've got and see if there's any optimizations to be had. Some of the builds are a little bit wonky. It's not that they're wonky, but there's things that could be made. If you've given yourself all the extra money and stuff, you've got time to do these things. So for argument's sake, ammo in the torso, not a very good idea. Drop it down into the leg. We have 6 jump jets. Again, that's in and of itself is not bad, but you don't genuinely need that many. So you could drop a couple of jump jets down, and especially on these light mechs, the more armor you've got, the better. I mean, we can give ourselves an extra ton of armor that we can chuck on things. This is going to help you massively early on when you're taking damage and you can't really dish it out. Likewise, stuff like on the Hunchback, if we go and look in here, the Hunchback is usually fairly solid build-wise, but again, for me personally, having something like the small laser in the head is not really worth it. I would rather be able to put the extra half ton into some back armor, especially early on. You're going to be facing a lot of fast light mechs and a lot of vehicles. They do like to get behind you and shoot you in the back. And typically a lot of the builds when they come, when you start them, they don't tend to have a lot of back armor. So just go through your mechs, have a little bit of a tweak, put stuff like ammo, don't leave it in there, put it up. I always like to put the ammo in the feet, as much as possible, unless you've got case, obviously, but as by and large, you're not going to have that much ammo early on. Just little tweaks like that are going to make your life just a little bit easier as things go on. So anyway, and with that, on to number 3. And tip number 3, when you start your first mission, look at the map. This is something that I keep reiterating. It does get missed quite a lot. It may look really difficult to see what you're doing, but with the fog of war and stuff, but there are things that you can do with escort missions and stuff, and with things like ambush convoys. You can kind of see paths the enemy is going to take. They tend to be, stick to roads or sort of channels that run through, canyons and things. So it just gives you an overview of how you can actually approach tackling the particular thing that you're doing. If you're not sure where things are or where you need to be or what you need to go, if you look over on the left hand side where you have the sort of destroy target warehouse, if you actually click on it, it will actually whiz the map over and center the map actually on the point that you need to go. This is especially useful for convoy missions and stuff, because you can see where you've got to go to actually sight them and engage. You can also see where there'll be another one that says where their evac zone kind of is, so you can kind of work out which way they're going to be going and sort of what the most logical path they're going to take, just so you can plan your attack better. You can make sure you can get on high grounds and stuff like that. Likewise with bases and things, it's You can just about see it on here, but things like where turrets are located. This is not 100% obvious on every single base mission that you do or any base mission that you deal with, because sometimes they are completely flat on the floor. But for example, you look for these little towers just here, just to the left of this main building. Those usually indicate that is where a turret is going to be. Now, it's not going to be definite that's where a turret is, but that is the sort of thing that you need to be looking for, and that, you know, again, so you can plan accordingly. So in this case, we can see there is a likelihood there is going to be 2 turrets there. It's going to look like there is going to be another one there, and there is going to be another one back here. So already we know that this right side of the base is actually weaker than the left side. We can also see from the map that we've actually got quite a lot of hill to try and work our way through, and there's lots of narrow channel and uneven ground, whereas if we go round this side, we've actually got a more flat, more open. We can actually get more evasion up. We haven't got to worry about this. And we can actually come and attack the base from the top here, which means we're going to have the height advantage over any enemy, and any units that are going to be shooting back have obviously got to deal with, you know, obviously height modifiers and things. So just take a minute, look at the map, see what your objectives are, and, you know, try and plan your attack out logically. You can go in just all guns blazing, fine, and in some cases that will work, but you will find as you progress later on that will get increasingly more difficult to do. Also, just a little FYI, if you are dealing with turrets, the usual turret's view range is actually longer usually than yours. So if you're a bit confused as to why you can't see the enemy turret, or you can just see like the red outline of where it is, but you can't actually see it to target it, there is a chance that that turret can actually see you. So just because you can't see the enemy doesn't necessarily mean that they can't see you. So just be wary of that. And with that, that segues us quite nicely into top tip number 4. And top tip number 4, learn when to withdraw. This is going to be a skill that is going to make you survive a lot longer than normal. It's quite difficult for me to get a scenario here, but if I'll kind of talk you through a typical scenario. So say for argument's sake, you're attacking an enemy base, all of a sudden there's not only this base garrison, all of a sudden that there's the turrets, all of a sudden the base garrison appears, all of a sudden, they drop reinforcements, you realise you're drastically underarmed and you're massively overwhelmed. Don't be tempted to just try and fight on through just because you've killed a couple of buildings or just because you've killed a couple of things. You will learn very quickly what you are and are not capable of being able to handle with your current lance. And again, this is especially prevalent early on when, you are dealing with superior numbers and you've got mechs that can't, pilots that can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. The withdraw button, this little white button up here, is extremely important. This is going to save you a lot of headache. Yeah, sure, you're going to lose, you're going to lose a bit of money, you're going to lose a bit of reputation, but overall, it's better to do that than lose half your lance, if not all of them, trying to get the mission done, only to get out of the mission. And yeah, you may have scraped through it, but you realise you haven't got enough money to repair all your mechs. You haven't got enough time to repair all your mechs. You've run out of money. Your company goes bankrupt, and boom, you're a couple of missions in, and your playthrough is over. Nothing is going to kill your interest quicker than doing that. So learn when to withdraw. Learn when to cut your losses and run. If you feel that you can't cope, it's fine. It's we all do it. I've had it even on my Twitch playthrough, but many hundreds of hours into it. I still come across missions that even I'm struggling with, and it's like, do you know what? No, I'm not prepared to risk the outlay of what it's going to cost me to repair versus what I'm actually going to make from completing this mission. Just doesn't add up. Just withdraw. Believe me, it's going to save you a lot of headache, and it's going to save you a lot of heartache as well, especially when you do start getting attached to some of your pilots as time progresses. And you've got your pilots you really like using because you like their voice effects and and stuff like that. It's going to happen, but yeah, learn when to withdraw. Trust me, you're going to need to a lot. And lastly, top tip number 5. Ask questions. If there's anything you don't know or you don't understand, the BTA Discord is there for a reason. My Discord is there for a reason. Jump in, ask. If there's stuff you're struggling and you don't understand how a specific weapon system works or why you can't do a certain thing a certain way, there's a player advice channel in the BTA Discord that you can go in and, shout up. There is no such thing as a stupid question. If you genuinely don't understand, the guys in there are really cool. They'll help you out as much as they can, not only with the mod team and all the rest of it, but a lot of the players like myself, the long-term players, you know, will be able to sort of like give you advice. There's mech bay discussions, there's build for mech bays, there's all sorts of stuff there for you to learn from. Obviously, as well as my own BTA series that I do as well. So obviously, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you know, catch out all the content for all of that, as well as streaming. I stream on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, health permitting. At the moment, that is not the case, but it will be soon. Yeah, you know, drop in, ask questions. If you're not sure, just ask. Don't be embarrassed. It's not even a thing. Just come in, ask questions. There's no point you struggling along and not understanding why something doesn't work, or if you think something should work a certain way and it doesn't seem to be, just ask. Believe me, it's going to save you a lot of headache than you sitting there trying to figure it out all on your own. There will be reasons why a lot of stuff happens the way it is. It may not make sense to you, but there might be a specific reason there why it happens, and you know, that sort of thing will be all explained to you. So don't worry about upsetting anybody. Just ask. It's that simple. With that being said, that is the last of my tips for today. I hope they have been helpful to you. Like I said, these are very brief overviews of stuff that I've already covered in previous videos. So don't forget, you know, you can go back through the BTA bite-size series and check out the more detailed versions of those. But as for me today, guys, that's me done. I hope you all stay safe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.